Book 14, The Art of Happiness and the Art of Survival. By Zion Drew. The Tree Beyond Babylon Series. 1. The First Witness. One world, one God, one breath. Everything else is argument. Listen, the first truth you must swallow is this: survival is not a badge you earn by luck. It is a contract written in blood and blessing. God gave you breath, the world wants your labor. You trade time, you trade sweat, you trade trust, and if you are not careful, you trade your soul. Do not mistake the noise for life. The city is loud because it needs your attention. It feeds on distraction. The temple is quiet because it needs your presence. Which do you choose? This book is not a sermon clothed in velvet. It's a weapon wrapped in scripture. It is the kind of truth that tastes like iron because it is forged in pressure. I am not here to comfort false hopes. I am here to arm honest hearts. You want happiness? Learn the art. You want to survive? Learn the craft. You want both? Learn the covenant. 2. The streets baptize the soul. The streets baptize more than the church sometimes. They baptize with cold showers, hunger, betrayal, and the real faces of humanity. If you survive the streets without softening, you learn something divine: resilience. If you survived with your heart still open, you earned mercy. Survival begins when the dreams end and the work starts. A man or woman who can't work in the dark will never shine in the light. You will lose people who love you when you prosper. You will lose those who used you when you have nothing left to give. That's not cruelty, it is calibration. God does not promise absence of storms. He promises the presence of a hand that steadies. When the world robs you, the word restores you. When they call you nothing, remember who named you. The name is a seed. Plant it, water it, and guard it. 3. The 5 pillars: flesh, roof, mind, joy, dignity. I told you the 5 pillars before: food, shelter, education, entertainment, clothing, but now we dig into the marrow. These are not marketing categories. They are human law. They are the scaffolding of civilization. When they are whole, the person is whole. When they are broken, so is the society. Food, sacred transaction. Food is communion. The first meal in Genesis was not about calories, it was about covenant. A table is a church. A kitchen is an altar. Street wisdom says, if you can cook, you can create wealth. If you can feed one, you can feed many. Food is also politics. Who controls the crop controls the people. Industrial systems make food sterile and expensive while teaching you to desire the flash, not the flavor. Real food heals. Real food connects you to land, ancestors, and God. Teach a person to farm, not just to swipe a card. Actionable truth: learn 3 staple recipes that cost little but feed many. Learn to preserve. Start a small communal garden, even if it's 2 pots on a concrete stoop. Teach kids to plant beans in a cup. They will watch life and trust return. Shelter the mind's architecture. A roof does not just keep rain off. It defines possibility. A secure address unlocks jobs, benefits, and faith. A stable home creates schedules, discipline, and the slow lift out of chaos. Yet shelter is more than physical, it's mental. If your mind has no steady place to rest, no plan to return to, you will wander into corners that steal your life. Streets tell a different sermon. Many kings sleep on floors and still rise regal. That's true, but dignity multiplies when safety is constant. Shelter is the quiet in which genius is born. Actionable truth: prioritize a basic safety net before vanity. Pay one necessary bill before buying a new pair of shoes. Convert borrowed space into sacred space. A corner can be a chapel if you dedicate it. Education, the only wealth that grows by giving. Education is not just degrees, it's literacy in life. It's knowing money, law, body, and hearts. It's emotional mathematics. Schools often teach rules, life teaches strategy. You need both. Knowledge is the blade that cuts chains. Teach children to read the contract and the culture. Teach adults to code their future. Teach communities to manage money like organs, not trophies. Actionable truth: create learning circles in barber shops, beauty shops, and porches. Teach one lesson a week, a real one: taxes, credit, parenting, conflict resolution. turn gossip into curriculum. Entertainment, the medicine of the soul. Art heals daily wounds. Song, dance, story, they reweave the torn cloth of identity. Entertainment is not a sin. It is a sacrament when it restores dignity. But the modern economy sells entertainment to anesthetize and divide. It distracts you for profit. We must reclaim joy as holy. Busy hands and joyful hearts make better neighbors and sharper minds. Actionable truth, invest in local culture. Host a weekly open mic for truth, no filters, no labels, only honest voices. Make art from pain, sell it, teach it, let it fund futures. Clothing, armor, and testimony. Dress is communication. When you dress with care, you signal expectation. Clothing is a symbol of self-respect. A suit is not vanity, it is declaration. They will treat you like what you claim to be. But do not let fashion become bondage. Wear dignity, not parade. Actionable truth. Build a capsule wardrobe with essentials. Invest in one outfit that opens doors. Teach youth how to present themselves in interviews and courts and classrooms. For the kingdom economics, feed, teach, share. God's economy is circular. Feed one, teach one, and the blessings multiply. The world system is linear. Extract, profit, forget. Which do you want to be? Let me be clear, empowerment is not a slogan. It's logistics. It's telling the truth about scarcity and then showing how to redistribute abundance. FeedCoin is a banner for that idea, not a miracle, just applied law. Money without conscience is mortar for prisons. Money with conscience builds cities. The real mode of liberation is simple. Secure basic needs, teach marketable skills, create small communal wealth engines. A block bakery, a laundromat co-op, micro school, a community kitchen. These are seed vaults. They multiply by giving. Action steps, concrete. 1. Create a food share roster. One household cooks twice a week and feeds 3 families. Rotate responsibility. 2. Build a skills roster. Everyone gives one skill, plumbing, childcare, bookkeeping, in exchange for meals or time. 3. Save collectively. A $5 daily pool in a community chest pays for repairs and emergencies. Small money moves mountains when disciplined. 5. The theology of scarcity and abundance. Do not be fooled by sermons that confuse poverty with piety. Poverty can be noble when chosen for a cause. Poverty out of ignorance is a crime. God wants you blessed, not broken. He gave us resources to steward, not suffer. Scarcity is often cultivated. Systems profit from need. That's a biblical fact. The Pharaoh taxed the people into debt while claiming righteousness. You will meet modern pharaohs who sell salvation while hoarding resources. Recognize them. Abundance is never just accumulation. It is distribution. The more you give from real surplus, the more the stream returns. That is reciprocity. That is divine math. 6. Love, loyalty, and the economy of trust. Love is currency you cannot counterfeit. Loyalty multiplies credit in relationships. The market can mimic love with convenience, but it cannot replicate trust. When a neighborhood moves together in mutual aid, they create a private bank, not in currency, but in credit. The knowledge that someone will show up at 3 a.m., the roof fix, the borrowed suit. Those are interest-bearing assets. Protect them. How to invest in trust. Show up, presence compounds. Be consistent. Reliability outruns promises. Teach honesty. The truth is the only sustainable brand. 7. The spiritual mechanics of survival. Prayer is not a wish list. It is alignment with reality. The act of praying tunes your mind to possibility. It is discipline. It is strategy for the heart. But prayer without action is fragile. Faith that moves is the faith that plans. When you fast, think. When you pray, prepare. Do not confuse being spiritual with being idle. Miracles often come after preparation, a clean resume, a paid application fee, a practiced speech. Discipline, set daily practices that feed both soul and system. Rise with the sun, move with purpose, make accountability public, have someone you answer to. 8. The art of hard choices. Real life requires hard choices. The world will ask you to choose safety or honor, small wins or large vision. Choose the things that compound over time. Short-term comforts can choke long-term growth. Street impulse says, eat the whole cake now. Divine wisdom says, plant the seed, tend it, and enjoy a harvest for generations. But do not romanticize suffering. Choosing the long game does not mean choosing to be a martyr to your own fear. Make decisions with courage, not with codependency on other people's expectations. 9. The family as unit of resurrection. The family is the first market of values. Who teaches the child gratitude? Who shows them how to fix a leak or repair a relationship? The family is not the place to be perfect. It's the place to practice repair. If you lost your family, do not lose faith. Recreate a family through the block, the crew, the circle. Each chosen member can be a parent, teacher, and trustee. Love builds tribes. Practical family rules. Teach children the 7-minute rule. If something spills, clean within 7 minutes. Ownership instills stewardship. Teach money in chits. Let kids manage a small allowance with responsibilities tied to it. Mealtime as ritual. Even one prayer and gratitude turn food into more than nutrition. 10. The culture of excellence. Small habits, giant returns. Excellence is unpopular because it requires discipline. The world loves spectacle, not process. But the people who build empires are invisible 90% of the time. They grind in quiet. Habits that scale. Read 15 pages a day. That's 5,475 pages a year, a library in a heartbeat. Save 10% of every unexpected dollar. Surprises funded are future privileges. Rehearse humility publicly. The humble can lead without needing applause. 11. The politics of self-knowledge. To survive, you must know yourself. That includes the dark rooms inside you where fear sleeps. Bring light, call it out by name. That is courage. If you cannot sit with your own silence, the world will fill it for you with noise. Drugs, distractions, addictions, these are dishonest pastors. They promise temporary peace, deliver greater hunger. Name one fear, speak it. Write your inventory of sins and assets, then strategize to change them. A plan without self-honesty is a JSON file of dreams, meaningless without action. 12. The poetry of resistance. You will fail hard, learn, and keep movement. Pain etched in your chest becomes the song you sing to save others. Pain is not finality, it is punctuation. Write your truth, tell it raw, let it sting. Suffering becomes testimony when you translate it into instruction. 13. Each one, reach one, the mandate. This is the simple law. When each person lifts one, the whole species rises. Do not wait for institutions. Institutions move slow and often betray. The work begins with one neighbor, one child, one hot plate. Create micro-rituals that scale. One mentor per block. One shared pantry per street. One scholarship per family, teach paying it forward. This is not altruism, it is survival engineering. You feed the network feeds you when the time comes. 14. The gospel of practical hope. Do not sell hope cheap. Hope is currency for the soul. Give people plans, not platitudes. Teach them how to cook with little, to argue for job hours that work for family, to read contract language, to negotiate rent. Give them a map. Hope paired with skill is a weapon. Hope without skill is a prayer that echoes into nothing. 15. The ethics of power. Power corrupts only when unaccountable. If you have influence, use it as steward, not tyrant. The block remembers two things: who gave when times were hard and who collected when times were easy. The righteous leader builds systems that outlive him. Tyrants build monuments of flesh that rot when they die. You want an inheritance, not a mausoleum. 16. The quiet revolution, rituals to reclaim life. Small rituals build culture. Pick these and guard them. 1. The morning ledger. Write 3 wins and 3 tasks every morning. Wins train gratitude, tasks train motion. 2. The weekly circle, a weekly meeting where the family or block shares needs and resources. No judgment, only offers. 3. The apprenticeship hour, every adult teaches one skill per month to one young person. 4. The Sabbath reboot, a day to repair, read, and rest, not consumer rest, restorative rest. These are bones for a new body. Build them, and the flesh will follow. 17. The last sermon, God's blessing is an active contract. God's blessing is not passive. It's the covenant that requires labor, honesty, and generosity. The Creator's economy responds to fidelity, to truthfulness, to courage, to stewardship. If you want to taste abundance, do the work of abundance. Feed, teach, build, lift. The miracle is often the natural consequence of consistent obedience to wise action. Do not wait for a rapture of fortune. Create it through righteous labor. Plant trees you will not sit under. Teach a child skills that pay for their children's schooling. Invest your life in people, not in facades. 18. The final scorecard. At the end of your days, there will be no audit of how many likes you collected. The balance sheet reads differently. How many did you feed? How many did you teach? Who carried your name forward by example? Did you leave systems, not souvenirs? If your answers show multiplication, you succeeded. 19. Benediction, the soldier's quiet joy. Go forth as soldier and saint. Wear your wounds like medals and your mercy like armor. Be fierce with systems and gentle with hearts. Build schools, bake bread, sing loud, fix roofs, and pray harder. Remember, God's desire is not to see you impoverished. He wants you blessed and multiplying blessings. The streets sharpened you, let heaven finish you. The art of survival gives you tools. The art of happiness gives you reason to use them. Rise, feed, teach, love, repeat. One world, one God, one love, one people, one mission.